Have you ever watched LeBron toss that cloud of chalk into the air and wondered if there's more to it than showmanship? The cameras might capture that iconic moment, but they rarely reveal the layers of inherited footwork, staggering mental acuity, and personal recovery lab that keep him a step ahead of everyone else. So what are the secrets behind the swirling dust and the feats that make him nearly impossible to contain? The truth extends far beyond a simple pregame ritual, lurking in the moves, habits, and decisions that forged him into one of basketball's most unyielding forces. When LeBron James first burst onto the NBA scene, he was an athletic marvel, like a runaway freight train who also happened to be great at dunking. Yet he knew raw power alone wasn't enough to carve out a spot in the basketball pantheon. So what did he do? He secretly teamed up with icons like Michael Jordan and Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon to refine his game. Michael Jordan represented the very embodiment of killer instinct. Even the slightest hint of MJ's footwork or mid-range mastery could tilt an entire playoff series. Meanwhile, Hakeem Olajuwon became LeBron's go-to for the silky dream shake and graceful spins in the post. If you ever catch LeBron pulling off a sequence that looks more like ballet than basketball, chances are you're witnessing some of Olajuwon's influence in action. These undercover sessions transformed LeBron's entire approach. Rather than relying solely on brute force to bulldoze his way to the rim, he started blending in fadeaways, pivots, and drop steps that would make any big man proud. Ever wonder how he can bully a 7-footer under the basket 1 minute, then dance around a smaller guard the next? Look no further than this hidden crash course he took from the game's GOAT-tier mentors. But let's face it, you can have all the post moves in the world and still flounder if you're not 3 steps ahead upstairs. Time to spotlight one of LeBron's scariest attributes. Imagine if you could recall entire playbooks from 2 or 3 seasons ago with freakish detail. For LeBron, that's a standard Tuesday. Coaches and teammates have raved about his near-photographic memory, one that lets him dissect defensive rotations, spot a missed assignment, and orchestrate a counterattack before the other team can even blink. It's like he's fast-forwarded your game tape and memorized every cameo. Picture this. An opponent tries to spring a new pick-and-roll setup, only for LeBron to point it out mid-play like a high school teacher calling out a cheat sheet. Want to guess how demoralizing that is for the opposition? If Jordan was known for his will to win, and Kobe for his relentless work ethic, then LeBron's mental database ranks right up there in the how do we even compete with this category. Sure, folks love to talk about his chase-down blocks and no-look passes. But next time you watch him call a set, think about what's really happening behind that calm expression. He's replaying old tape in his mind, knowing exactly where each player will be and how best to exploit it. Good luck running a sneaky backdoor cut on a guy who could probably describe it to the referee in slow motion. Of course, a brilliant mind won't save you if your body falls apart, and that's where another secret weapon factors in, a personal recovery lab that sounds more like a sci-fi bunker than a training regimen. What do cryotherapy chambers, hyperbaric oxygen tanks, personal chefs, and about $1.5 million a year have in common? They're all part of LeBron's borderline futuristic approach to body maintenance. Some call it the secret recovery lab, others just call it insane. And to be fair, you could probably buy a tropical island for the price of LeBron's annual wellness bill. But hey, if that's what it takes to keep Father Time at bay, you do you, King. Why such a hefty investment? Consider that each extra season at an elite level translates into more championship pursuits, more endorsement dollars, and more bullet points on an ever-growing legacy. If you've seen him still throwing down earth-shaking dunks while guys 10 years younger grab their knees, then you know this cryo chamber business is paying off. For LeBron, the logic is simple. Spending 7 figures now could yield 8 or 9 figures in extended earnings, plus a truckload of respect for still dominating at an age when most players turn into part-time bench scorers. But let's remember, he's not just an athletic marvel. He's also a cunning businessman. And you know what cunning business people do? Invest in the future, especially in tech. When he's not busy on the hardwood or trapped in an ice bath, LeBron James moonlights as a budding venture capitalist. He's quietly putting money into brands like Blaze Pizza, where he turned a small stake into a scorching fast global chain, and Tonal, an AI-driven home gym system that merges fitness with cutting-edge technology. Add to this his partial ownership in Fenway Sports Group, think Liverpool FC and the Boston Red Sox. You start to see why King James might end up more than just an NBA legend. He could become a global sports mogul. Think about it. He invests in up-and-coming companies before they become household names, leveraging his colossal social media influence and celebrity status. It's not just LeBron uses X, so you should buy X. It's more like LeBron is deeply connected to X's success, and that synergy helps push it to the forefront of popular culture. If you want a glimpse of how modern athletes might shape markets, keep an eye on those stealth moves from number 23. The final scoreboard might show that by the time he's done, half your kitchen appliances and half the sports world belong to the House of Braun. But to truly appreciate how meticulously this empire was built, we have to throw it back to his teenage days, where legends of secret high school games still swirl in hushed whispers. St. Vincent, St. Mary High School in Akron, where the myth began. By his junior year, LeBron was already packing gyms, drawing NBA scouts, and apparently hosting cameo visits from guys like Shaquille O'Neal. The rumor mill suggests certain private games during this period were kept firmly under wraps to prevent a total meltdown of hype. It's like those old stories of secret MJ tryouts, except this time the kid was in high school, not even old enough to buy a scratch-off ticket. Could the powers that be have decided that letting the public see his full dominance would overshadow the entire competition? Possibly. Or maybe they just wanted to protect him from the unrelenting media machine. Either way, it's a testament to how people around him recognized early on that he was more than just a future all-star. He was a potentially franchise-changing force. If you've ever wondered how a 17-year-old kid handles being called the chosen one, maybe the secret scrimmages were part of the plan to keep him sane. Yet after navigating secret high school scrimmages in a whirlwind of early expectations, LeBron's leadership talents found a whole new test on the international stage with Team USA. When you stack Team USA with multiple Hall of Famers, you'd expect a clash of egos bigger than Kanye's last album release. Yet insiders whispered that LeBron became the glue holding these star-studded rosters together. Late-night hotel huddles, extra shooting drills, and motivational talks. Some say he was the real behind-the-scenes MVP. Sure, Kobe had the Mamba mentality, and Carmelo was unstoppable in FIBA play. But the anecdotal evidence credits LeBron with galvanizing the team when petty rivalries threatened to bubble up. Ever wonder why some of those Redeem Team squads look more cohesive than an all-star game? Look to the King's knack for orchestrating personalities. By channeling that innate leadership, he helped avert star-laden chaos and refocus the mission on hanging gold medals around their necks. Just another example of how LeBron's intangible qualities go beyond stat sheets or buzzer beaters. They show up in the small spaces where big egos can derail entire tournaments. But enough about Olympic synergy. Let's talk about the hush-hush phenomenon that might make or break entire playoff runs. LeBron's rumored secret gear in the highest stakes games. Every team prays to avoid facing an elimination scenario with LeBron on the other side. Over the years, fans and teammates alike have pointed out that he morphs into an entirely different beast whenever the season's on the line, a phenomenon they've dubbed Game 7 mode. His numbers skyrocket, his demeanor intensifies, and he starts producing moments that looked ripped straight from a sports movie. Remember that 3-1 finals comeback against the Golden State Warriors? That's prime Game 7 mode in action. Does he really coast in earlier games to conserve energy for these clutch showdowns? Or is it just that he thrives on life-or-death adrenaline? Whatever the explanation, it's become part of the LeBron lore. The older he gets, the more you sense him calibrating his effort until it matters most, like a lion pacing around before delivering the fatal blow. Think you can handle him in a high-stakes scenario? Good luck, because once Game 7 mode is activated, logic and matchups go out the window. But what sparks that incredible transformation into Game 7 mode? It all starts with a pre-game ritual that's become as legendary as his clutch performances, the chalk toss. Now we've arrived at the reason you probably stayed in the video, LeBron James's legendary chalk toss. Before every game, LeBron stands at the scorer's table with a handful of chalk. He rubs it between his palms and hurls it into the air, creating a mesmerizing cloud of white dust that settles on his hands, arms, and shoulders. This isn't just about keeping his grip dry, though that certainly helps his dunking prowess. It's a ritual that signals his mental readiness and focus. Have you ever wondered why this simple gesture has become so iconic? It all began during his 2003 rookie season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, where a practical need to prevent slipping evolved into a meaningful and personal ritual. Over time, the chalk toss became a way for LeBron to connect with his fans, whether basking in home crowd cheers or igniting the atmosphere on the road. Psychologically, it helps him block out distractions, center his thoughts, and assert his presence before the game even begins. Plus, let's be honest, it just looks cool and adds an extra layer of drama to his pre-game routine, making every game start with a touch of LeBron's signature flair. After uncovering LeBron's secret training with Olajuwon, leveraging his photographic memory into on-court prowess, investing millions into his personal wellness fortress, backing future-focused tech, and shaping super teams from high school to the Olympics. It's clear the King's dominance isn't just about brute force or unstoppable drives. It's a blend of strategy, cunning, and relentless evolution. So, the big question remains. Has he finally surpassed Michael Jordan in the GOAT debate, or does MJ still cast too long a shadow for the King to eclipse? Regardless of your stance, there's no denying that LeBron James has redefined the basketball superstar, combining investment savvy, philanthropic efforts, and a flair for showmanship. He might one day own a franchise or become the Elon Musk of sports tech. Nothing seems off the table. Until then, brace yourself each time he touches the ball, especially in elimination games. Whether he's mesmerizing opponents every move or gliding across the court like Olajuwon's protege, LeBron James proves that greatness has no ceiling. It just keeps finding new ways to exceed our expectations.